He finished as the wide receiver 25 last year, and he's currently being drafted as the wide receiver 35. So based on that, he's not being overdrafted. However, he finished as the wide receiver 25 on the back of several monster performances. And then I feel like it was a lot that was left to be desired. Week 3 of 2024, Jauan Jennings goes off. 12 targets, 11 catches, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Massive. Not only was he easily the wide receiver 1 on that week, but it was one of the best wide receiver performances of the entire season. He went on to have 2 more wide receiver 1 weeks on the season. In week 11 against Seattle, he another 11 targets, caught 10 of them for 91 yards and a touchdown. And then a few weeks later, week 14 against the Bears, he had 8 targets, 7 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. So 3 monster games. 3 monster games for Jauan Jennings. One was the wide receiver 1 overall week, and then another 2 wide receiver 1 weeks on the week in weeks 11 and weeks 14. He totaled 6 touchdowns in those 3 games. Do you know how many touchdowns Jauan Jennings had the rest of the season outside of those 3 games? The answer is 0. He had 0 touchdowns outside of his 3 blow-up games that resulted in fantasy wide receiver 1 finishes for the week. His best performance, his 4th best performance of the season, outside of those 3 wide receiver 1 weeks, was the wide receiver 17. He was the wide receiver 17, week 10. He had 7 catches for 93 yards on 11 targets against Tampa Bay. He was a wide receiver 3 or worse every other game of the season. And the game that he blew up against the Rams, obviously there was no Christian McCaffrey. He missed all but 4 games last year. There was also no Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. I get Deebo Samuel is gone, and Brandon Ayuk has basically no timeline to return right now, maybe second half of the season. So I get the appeal because Jauan Jennings is going to start, but he started a lot last year after Brandon Ayuk went down, and Christian McCaffrey was never fully healthy. He started a lot last year. He had 3 great games, and they were great games. I'm not taking those games away from him. He dominated those 3 games, but his consistency rating was not good. If you only started him those 3 weeks, then pat yourself on the back. I'm sure you have very fond memories of Jauan Jennings, but if you were regularly relying on the guy after his week 3 blow-up, he did not deliver for you. Week 5, 1 catch for 13 yards. Week 6, this is last year, obviously, 3 catches for 27 yards. Not great. Missed week 7, missed week 8. He had a good week 10. That was his wide receiver 17 performance. He was a wide receiver 2. Week 11, just went over it. Great game. 10 for 91 and a touch. He was a wide receiver 1 that week. Week 12, 5 for 40. It's not helping you win. Week 13, 3 for 56. That's not helping you win. Again, week 14, great week. 7 for 90 and 2. But then the fantasy playoffs come around. Week 15, 2 catches, 31 yards. Week 16, 4 catches, 51 yards. Week 17, solid, 7 catches, 67 yards. That's a flex play. I don't know that you're going to get the consistency that you're trying to get from a guy like Jauan Jennings with a 6th round ADP. If I'm only getting 3 good games from my 6th round pick, I'm going to be disappointed. So yeah, Deebo is gone, and Brandon Ayuk is, has a who knows trajectory or a timeline to return, but Christian McCaffrey is back, and so is Ricky Pearsall. And I haven't even mentioned George Kittle, who is going to soak up a fair share of targets as well. Jauan Jennings could be this team's 4th option. He's at best their 3rd option when everybody's healthy most of the time.